So I'm Chris Reynolds. We design outside spaces for families and for the commercial sector and for the charity sector, including the garden that I'm sat in, which is the Safe Space Garden supported by Victim Support. And what I'm really passionate about is creating spaces for people that is really genuinely fit for purpose and actually encourages people to use their outside space. People don't necessarily have the imagination or they don't necessarily have the confidence to create themselves something, and that's where I come in. And then we look to create something for them that meets their needs. Because ultimately, being outside, there isn't a better thing for your mental health. And so what I've tried to create is a space that is welcoming but also protected without feeling claustrophobic. It's a sensory experience, there's movement, there's sense. The hard stuff will be going to, be it a victim support centre or an associated charity, so that it can be used for those purposes. And that was part of the rationale for the materials that we use, so there's no concrete in the garden. I actually sent a number of emails out to providers of low carbon cement, and there seemed to be a real lack of providers of low carbon or cement free concrete. And then someone referred me to Semblend. I spoke to Semblend about the purpose of the project, about it was a garden for victims of domestic abuse, that the garden would only be here for a certain amount of time. So for me, morally, it was really important that we weren't wasting materials, that we weren't using loads of concrete, which would then just go to spoil. And they mentioned the material H-UKR and said that they would happily provide it for us, that we could use that to set in place all of our stone sets, which are an integral part of the garden. And the material is fantastic. It moulds very similar to cement, but I'd say there's more of a movement to it, which for the purposes of what we're doing here, where we have a very organic shape, it works really, really well. And we've had all kinds of weather in the last 2 weeks. We've had rain, but we haven't had a single thing which has shifted out of position. I'm delighted with the product, and I'm delighted with the fact that Semblend are so on board with it. From a usability perspective, 100% I would use it again. And from a sustainability and moral obligation aspect, I would 100% use it again, and I would 100% use Semblend. We're really grateful of Hoffman Green and Semblend. It's really great that companies like Hoffman Green are producing these zero carbon cements for the industry, because I think we have a moral obligation as garden designers to create gardens which are good for the environment, or at least don't have a negative impact on the environment. From day one, they were fully supportive of the work. I couldn't ask more. They even brought the materials themselves, brought it on site, talked me through the materials. They were quick to respond to any of my inquiries. They're a fantastic group of guys.